On Thursday, 6 March 2025, violent clashes broke out between gunmen linked to Syria's new Islamist rulers and loyalists of the ousted President Bashar al-Assad in the country's coastal region. This marks Syria's deadliest outbreak of violence since Assad's fall in December 2024, with over 1,000 people killed, including 830 civilians. The majority of casualties belong to the Alawite community, the sect to which the Assad family belongs. Following the fall of the Assad regime, separatist attacks against Alawites increased. The latest clashes were triggered when Assad loyalists ambushed security forces, leading to a brutal government crackdown. This escalated into revenge killings in Alawite strongholds like Latakia, Tartus, and Banias, causing mass civilian casualties. The Alawites, a religious minority making up around 12% of Syria's population, originate from Shia Islam and have long been concentrated in Syria's coastal regions. Under the Assad regime, they held key positions in government and the military, feeling resentment among other communities. The 2011 Arab Spring protests against Assad's rule were violently suppressed, leading to a lengthy civil war. In December 2024, the Assad regime collapsed as a rebel coalition led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS, a former al-Qaeda affiliate, swiftly took control. The HTS leader, interim President Ahmad al-Sharaa, promised safety for Christians and other minorities under the new government. However, many Syrians, including Christians, remained skeptical, fearing a power vacuum and broken promises. Despite HTS introducing rules banning revenge attacks and implementing press restrictions, violence has continued. The reality on the ground has confirmed many fears, with brutal retaliation targeting those once affiliated with the Assad regime. Armed factions, reportedly loyal to the new government, have launched retaliatory attacks against Alawites and other minorities, including Christians. Reports from within Syria suggest that entire villages have been slaughtered. One of our contacts reported that clashes intensified on 9 March, with calls to target Kurdish communities as well. Many families, including hers, are seeking to flee, feeling helpless as the violence spirals out of control. A Syrian affiliate of In Context reported that armed groups are raiding villages under the pretext of government inspections, only to execute entire families. Homes are being looted, valuables stolen, and civilians, including children, students, and women, murdered for their religious identity. Christian communities have been particularly affected, with churches and cemeteries attacked. The situation is dire, with mounting rhetoric calling for the extermination of minorities. Our contact fears that Syria is on the brink of ethnic cleansing and that urgent international intervention is needed. Another In Context contact shared that civilians are being murdered under the false pretext of being remnants of the past, only for the perpetrators to later apologize and change the narrative. Trust has eroded completely, with perpetrators offering empty reassurances before committing atrocities. Reports indicate that those responsible now permit atrocities as long as they are not filmed, allowing terror to spread without evidence. Moderate voices are silenced, accused of sympathizing with Assad. Although not with the same ferocity as the Alawites, Christians are being directly targeted, some kidnapped for ransom, others forcibly displaced as their lands are seized. There are also efforts to impose strict Islamic laws, including dress codes and gender segregation. In one alarming incident, militants attempted to storm a church, raising fears that Christian places of worship could be taken over entirely. With strict immigration restrictions, many Christians feel abandoned by the international community. Yet, in the face of this terror, they cling to their faith, believing that God will continue to protect them. As Christians, we cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering of our brothers and sisters in Syria. Let us respond to their plight by praying confidently and without ceasing, knowing that the prayers of a righteous person are powerful and effective. And where possible, let us also act in compassion for those in Syria who are enduring these atrocities. Please pray for the safety and protection of Christians and other persecuted minorities, for an end to the violence and for leaders to choose reconciliation over revenge, for Syrian Christians to remain steadfast in faith despite fear and suffering, for national and international leaders to act justly and work towards peace, for provision, protection, and open doors for those seeking safety and aid.